It's the bullshit that gets views. It's the shit we call news. Da da da. Here's your host, the news guy. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages. I am the news reporter. Why am I called the news reporter? Because we haven't figured out our names yet, so we're just generic titles. Anyway, welcome to the bullshit that we call news, where we explore the bullshit stories that lovely news outlets post up online for our lovely enjoyment. They post the bullshit stories, we tell them, and you can get all the bullshit information. This week's edition, or our first week's edition, we've got many stories covering 4 different categories. We got entertainment, we got our social media reporters, we got food and lifestyle. So they cover various areas on our everyday lives, and through these lovely storytellings from all these bullshit stories, you get to see, in some cases, how differently you're supposed to live your life compared to all these lovely stories. So, yep, okay, cool. Our entertainment reporter is standing by, so I shall pass over to our entertainment reporter for the entertainment report. Hello, I am the entertainment reporter, and welcome to the entertainment report. We've got a couple of stories to discuss on this week's matter. First thing we've got is Britney Spears. Now, of course, she's currently caught in a conservatorship battle with her father. But what's more important is the fact that at the age of 39, she's got her first iPad. Now, I remember getting my first iPad when I was probably about 10 years old. And apparently it is newsworthy that at 39, a celebrity has got an iPad. Now, it may suck, but I'm pretty sure it's not that much important compared to her conservatorship battle. In other matters, Lisa Wilkinson is complaining towards Khloe Kardashian for using a photo without her permission on her Instagram and not crediting her in any single way, and that she hasn't even replied. The photo in question is this, from somewhere in Italy, where it is, "We don't really care." Whilst we all do indulge in celebrity feuds on the odd occasion, we don't really care on this occasion that this is not newsworthy, so why is this even online? So that concludes this week's edition of the Entertainment Report. Back to you in the studio, news guy. Well, I'm sure we really needed to know all that. Well, we still thank our lovely entertainment reporter for that lovely dose of knowledge that we all now know on what's going on with certain celebrities' lives and issues and all that jazz. Next up on our bullshit news, or the shit we call news, we're still kind of figuring out a name, we got the social media report. So yes, our social media reporter is standing by, so we shall pass over to our social media reporter to tell us all the lovely news stories coming up from social media. Hello, I'm the social media reporter. So this is the social media report. We got a few things to discuss. First things we got to discuss is about the TikTok challenges. There's a new TikTok challenge called the Frozen Honey Challenge, and experts are warning against it because it might result in some related stomach issues and diarrhea and all that. For those of you who live on a rock and don't know what the Frozen Honey Challenge is, it's where the a bowl of water is frozen with some honey. It ends up all solid and all that, and then you bite into it, and so apparently through all that it can result in some stomach issues, but I'm sure we will be fine with all that.
In other news, costume-related issues are in the news. Firstly, we got a TikToker in Alaska who was allegedly shamed by a flight attendant because of her outfit. So a young woman was reduced to tears after being allegedly shamed by a flight attendant. All she was wearing was some shorts, a crop top, and a grey hooded jumper. There was nothing wrong there. But there was more. There was more to do. As a TikTok allegedly kicked out of a garage for what she was wearing. She was wearing, I don't know, let me check my notes. Oh, yeah, she was wearing a burgundy crop top and some shorts. There was nothing wrong there. I mean, look at our crummy reporter. He needs to fix that bloody collar of his. He looks like a fucking dork. Anyway, this is all to do for the social media report for this week. Back to you, Mr. Mr. News Guy, or whatever the fuck you're called.
Yes, we thank our social media commentator for that lovely dose of social media and fashion advice. Thanks for that. We're halfway through our first edition of Bullshit We Call News. So, next up, we got our food. Now, you may think that in some case, we all know how food works now. We know how food's supposed to be eaten. We know how food's supposed to work in society. Well, our food reporter has just found that there are other ways that we're supposed to be using everyday foods. Over to you, food reporter.
Alright, I'm the food reporter. Welcome to the food report. First things first on this week's matter. We got a woman who was sued McDonald's after seeing a cheeseburger ad that made her break her fast. Because of this, she is asking for $14 in compensation for moral damage. Alright, and we've just found out what the judge's reaction would be when she sees the case. Yeah, she ain't got much hope. In other news, a foodie has shared the correct way to eat Nutella. According to this foodie, the best way is if you stick it down the middle of the jar, the thickness from the sides will come together, and the sides will end up as clean as possible. So keep that in mind next time you eat Nutella. So that concludes the food report. I'll pass back to our news guy, whilst I go back to my tacos.
We thank our food reporter for those lovely dose of knowledge on what's going on in the world of food. So there you go, people. Next time you open a jar of Nutella, remember to just keep going down the middle. Don't go near the sides, because eventually the sides will just slide together. And eventually, you just have to keep going through the middle. So there you go, apparently. On to our final category of lifestyle. Of course, there will be people who will judge how people live their lives and, well, how they expect other people to live their lives. But of course, there'll always be people who will try to manipulate how other people want to live through their own views or, well, yeah, if you're a Karen. Thankfully, these stories do not involve Karens. Yet. On to our lifestyle reporter for the lifestyle report.
What's up? I'm the lifestyle guy, and welcome to the lifestyle report. First things first, in the lifestyle report, we got a sneaker cleaning hack that has gone viral. So, this thing that's gone viral is that you can use cleaning tablets to clean whites, including sneakers. In other news, a father has gotten in a bit of trouble after banning his 9-year-old daughter from his wedding. Why? Because his fiancée didn't really like young children, and it was a child-free event. Hey, hang on. I know how it's like to not be invited to a child-free wedding. I'm pretty sure it's not all that bad. Oh, but you haven't let me finish. In a cruel twist, his other daughter, aged 19, was allowed to be at the wedding, whilst the 9-year-old had to stay home. This is not really news, so I'll cross back to the news guy to wrap this whole show up.
We thank our lifestyle reporter for that lovely dose of lifestyle / reality, I guess. Got a feeling that dad's got a fair bit of explaining to do to his daughter. Now, we were going to cross over to the sports guy to see what's going on in the world of sports, but he's busy watching the Olympics, so he's unavailable for this week. But who knows, maybe if a bunch of bullshit stories from the sports will come up, he will be on call for next week, if we even do another week. Anyway, this concludes our first edition of the bullshit we called news. I'm sure there are many other stories of complete and utter bullshit that came through during the week. So, as I said, we might be back next week, if you people want it back next week. If not, well, it was fun whilst it lasted. Until next time, enjoy your bullshittery.